Here we are with Carl Frampton after a sensational knockout win over Kris Hughes in the York Hall. Carl, congratulations on the win first of all, and talk us through how you thought the fight went.
I think it went to plan really. You know, what we had planned from the start was to break him down and get close to him and outwork him. I trained hard for this fight. I knew I was fitter than him. I knew I could fight at a higher pace, but we're talking about, you know, chopping the tree down. He's so tall and going to the body first, and that's what we've done. Went to the body and gradually just slowed him down, and the time came, and that was the perfect shot that knocked him out.
When the fight was announced, there was almost shades of Robbie Turley, you know, tall, awkward, southpaw, and people were maybe looking towards seeing the progression that you had from that fight to this. Did you learn stuff from that Turley fight that you said, right, I'm going to employ that here?
That was the best thing. You know, the Turley fight was the best thing that could ever happen to me, because, you know, I went in there overconfident, probably, you know, a couple of different things. I overate before the fight. I felt bloated and you know, a bit not tired, but just flat, you know. And there was plenty of things I could cut as well in that fight. The Turley fight was the best thing that could ever happen to me, and I knew what I can do when I get the chance. But, you know, that shows the improvement, because he is a tricky customer, and I dealt with him very well.
You seemed to go to the body a lot for a lot of the earlier rounds, and there was a lot more head movement. Than was that something that you've worked on or since the last fight? Or
because he was a southpaw and he likes to punch long, I was trying to slip his punches and slip to his blind side all the time and punch with him, and I've worked a treat. We've been trying to, you know, I was training with Jerry for 4 or 5 weeks before I come over here, and Shane had me doing the exact same thing. So head movement was the key, and, you know, making him miss is going to tire him out. And, you know, he was using up a lot of nervous energy just on the back foot and being nervous about big shots coming. So I think everything we've done, you know, we wanted to do, we've done.
Yeah, I described that as a punch perfect performance. You went in there and you methodically broke him down. Everything you did, you looked like you did with purpose. Did you feel like that in the ring, or were you just sort of boxing with a flow, or was every round you knew what you were doing and you knew it was going to land?
I just like to go with a flow, really, as you said, and I was doing what I do best, and I did make a miss a lot, and I haven't seen. That's probably the most head movement that I've ever shown in a fight, but it just shows that I'm improving all the time, and I'm coming up against different types of opponents. You know, Mark Kwan was a similar height to me last time. Now we've got Kris Hughes, who's a southpaw, and 5'11" or 10 or whatever he is. So it just shows the improvement levels, and I feel great. You know, things are going to plan. You alright? Cold or what? Drink water.
It's only starting. Right.
Okay, he's going to have a...
Guys, do me a favour, give us 5 minutes to have a shower.
Shouldn't be talking about Scott Quigg. So does that performance put you ahead of Scott Quigg in many people's minds now?
Well, I don't know. That was the thing, you know. I think after the Turley performance, people sort of said, oh, Frampton would never beat Quigg, but we'll see. You know, Scott Quigg's fighting next week, so you may have a few people, you know, jumping ship again after a performance like that. We'll see how good Scott Quigg does against Jimmy Offer, and it'll be a tough fight. But, you know, that's it. Joe Gallagher said I'm living off the name of Scott Quigg. It's a load of crap, to be honest.
Do you think that fight will happen this year, or do you see it happening next year?
Well, I wanted to happen this year, but they keep saying, you know, let it brew, as if, and, you know, it's as if they're trying to do me a favour. I'm not ready for it, and they're trying to protect me from getting a hiding off Scott Quigg. You know, wait a year and you'll fight him, but he'll not give you such a beating. I'm ready for him now. What more is there to build up? He's Commonwealth, or I'm Commonwealth, sorry. He's British champion. The fight's made. You know, it's a perfect fight. People want to see it. Let's do it.
Sky have really been building it up, even on ringside. I'm sure you saw ringside this week, and the promo that they showed at the end of it was a fantastic promo. Everyone must be talking about Frampton, Quigg. You know, do you feel that, you know, your profile is since you've sort of moved to Sky almost permanently, that your profile has gone through the roof?
I think it has, and that's a lot to do with, well, obviously Barry being my manager, but, you know, working closely with Matchroom, and they're giving me big opportunities. You know, they're putting me on a top of the bill show here in York Hall, and tell you the truth, I was a little bit nervous about ticket sales, being a foreigner nearly.
Yeah.
But the place was packed out, and the crowd made it was a great atmosphere, and it was like I was the home fighter. But I do think the profile's rising. I think Matthew and Barnum about it.
Thanks very much. Cheers.